bracelet or a ring.
Yeah.
Do you want? There's one for you. Just a little something. Sometimes you need a little something. All right. So, like Michael, I have some notes. And I'm going to start with this, which was not originally a part of this lesson plan that I wrote. But it's from a friend of mine who is a Buddhist monk in Seattle. And we follow each other on Facebook. And he had posted this on Facebook the other day. And I was just like, oh, this fits so perfectly with this class. I have to share this. So I'm just going to read it so that you guys can kind of start off with that intention. When I care for myself, well, first off, let me give you a little disclaimer about him. He is a Buddhist monk, and he specializes in drug recovery. That's his main thing. So he is helping people that are in AA kind of find a spiritual path that may not be Christian, which is a lot of AA doesn't always fit for people because they have different spiritual paths. So that's kind of his focus, and that's where he comes from. So he wrote, when I care for myself without any real warmth towards myself, I notice that it doesn't quite reach or help me to land. The gesture is presence, the form is correct, but something essential is missing, like tea poured into a cup that isn't held. What I have found is that self-care without self-appreciation is still kind of turning away. I'm managing myself rather than meeting myself. The action happens, but there's no one home to receive it. When appreciation is present, even a small, quiet recognition that this life deserves tending, the same act becomes something else entirely. Sitting zazen is sitting zazen. But one is more like a pit stop or maintenance and getting through it, and the other is reverence, awe, and appreciation. Whether in recovery or Zen, it's not the art of going through the motions and just phoning it in. Wake up. And I just thought this was such a great post that we come to something like this and we're like, okay, I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to go to a yoga class. I'm going to make all these positive changes. But if you're not really feeling it here, you're just kind of going through the motions, right? You're not, I'm going to eat and not be mindful about eating. You know, I need to eat, but being mindful while you're eating totally changes it. Like, it's all about the intention, right? And a lot of spiritual bypassing that you see nowadays where people are very woo-woo. I joke with Michael, I'm like, I'm very woo-woo, I'm not woo-woo. When people get a little too out there, you're not really connecting with people, you know? You're kind of, it's more isolating. Like, you're not one of me. You know, this is an elite thing that you're a club, it's a club that you're not a part of. When it's not that at all. Like, we're just humans helping other humans. Like, some of us have figured out some stuff, some of us haven't, and let's share that and be better humans. Make the world better by, you know, learning from each other and not making these like mean girl clubs that some people fit into and some people don't. Like gatekeeping. Like, it's stupid. Like, how are we going to evolve if we keep it all to ourselves? You know? So I loved this, and I just was like, I gotta bring this in because you can do all the things. Like, I see this with clients, you know, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to yoga, I'm doing meditation, I'm going to retreats, I'm doing all this stuff, and still I'm so stressed out. Well, you can't just do it, you gotta be it. You know, you can't just, yeah, you have to actually like do it, like in here and in here. You can't just go through the motions. So I just had to share that because I just thought, oh, this is so perfect for what we're talking about today. It's just brilliant. So that said, we're going to get into this. I haven't taught in a while, so you'll have to apologize if I'm reading a lot from here. It's been a minute, pre-pandemic here. So my class that I have written is how to fill your own cup with self-care techniques. I find that I share this with my clients all the time. It's simple little things. If we can tweak little things in our daily life, like let's do it, right? If you can change how your computer is so that fixes your shoulder pain instead of having shoulder surgery, like let's do that, right? Like I don't want to have shoulder surgery if I don't have to. Like, so these little tweaks, you know, and mental, emotional, physical, whatever it is, and making it accessible, like little things. It doesn't have to be doing yoga on a mountaintop at 5 a.m., like at sunrise. Like, that's cool if you want to do that. That's awesome. But it can be like stretching while you're brushing your teeth while your kids are eating breakfast, because that's the only time you have to fit in. Like, you know, like without multitasking, being present while you're doing it, but how do you fit it into your lives? Because we're working all, you know, we don't have enough hours in the day to get 8 hours of sleep and work 8 hours, sometimes more if you're in the healthcare industry. It's more like 10, 14 hours, and commuting and taking care of our families and eating 3 square home-cooked meals and meditating and flossing our teeth, and, you know, like you run out of hours and something has to give. So multitasking necessarily isn't bad. It's just, are we being mindful about our multitasking? So I literally do lunges while I brush my teeth because I brush my teeth at least twice a day. So I'm going to do some squats and lunges and maybe maybe listen to a guided meditation or something like that, because I'm doing 3 things at once, but I'm being mindful as I'm doing it. So I love helping people kind of incorporate that into their real life, because it's not always easy to do something. Like if we could do this every week, that would be awesome, right? If I could get a massage every week, that would be great. But that's not reality. I wish. I wish. I wish I could just go to work when I feel like going to work. But how do we incorporate that into our regular lives and like be real about it? So time's precious. Clients are always telling me all the time, I wish I had more time to do this or that. I wish I could stretch more. I wish I could travel more. I wish I could make art. And one of the things I noticed is during the pandemic, as somebody who was working during the pandemic, time wasn't the problem. We had lots of time. You know, that wasn't actually true. Like the pandemic, we had nothing but time. Everything was shut down. And what did we do with that time? Like take a moment and think, what did you do during the pandemic? Did you binge watch a lot of TV? Did you maybe do something that was healthy for you? Did you make art? Did you stretch more? Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people, it was really hard. It was a depressing time. We were terrified of how we were going to make a living. Some of us couldn't work. As someone who's in the healthcare industry, I don't get paid time off. I don't get sick leave. I don't get vacation time. And I was out of work for 3 months. And they were trying to not give us unemployment because we weren't considered essential. And then as soon as everyone wanted massages, we were all of a sudden essential workers and we had to go back to work, even though we didn't want to go back to work. So it was a really difficult time. So we didn't have time to be thinking about, oh, I should be stretching more and cooking my, learning new recipes. We were like, I hope my bank account doesn't dwindle. How am I going to feed my kids? I'm stressed out. Am I going to die like going outside to the grocery store? We're just completely overwhelmed. And I think that's continued. Like now that it's over, we're still overwhelmed because we're expected to do everything all the time, more even, You have to work and take care of your 4 kids and go to the gym and, pay your taxes. And, you know, it's a lot. And she gets to the point where you're like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'm just frozen from it because it's also overwhelming. I'm going back to bed, hide under the covers. I can't adult today, sorry. And I think that, see, give these children a toy to play with. That's okay. That's okay, I love it. We go with the flow, that's how it is. So I think because of that, we feel burnt out and overwhelmed. And even though you may not be working necessarily more, you are still burnt out. You know, you could be like, I'm going to take a day off of work. And then you're like, I'm still tired. That didn't help. I didn't recover because on my day off, I had to do laundry and do all the other things that I didn't have time to do. And one of the things I read recently, which really resonated with me, as someone who sometimes feels like, oh my God, I'm getting older. I can't work as much as I used to. Like, I'm getting burnt out. Like, I got to cut back my hours. I still feel tired. I'm still feeling exhausted. And it's not necessarily that we're working too much. It's that we're not doing something that fuels our passions. We're not doing something that really is meaningful. Like, we're just going to work and doing our day-to-day things that we have to do that we don't want to do. And I think that makes a huge difference. Now, everyone can't have a job that they love. I have a job I love, but I get burnt out doing it. If I'm not doing it, if I don't have time to rest in between, if I'm not able to connect with people, I'm not able to do the things the way I want to do that I know is the right way to do for me, for my body. If I'm like, I don't have time to take a break and take care of myself, it makes me hate my job. But then there's days where I'm like, I have like plenty of time and I have all the ideal clients and I'm like, oh my God, I love my job. Why did I ever have any doubts about this? So if we don't have that, you know, hobbies help. Surrounding yourself with people that allow you to have a creative outlet, you know, music, art, whatever that can be, knitting. When we don't have that, we tend to feel really worn out, and sometimes for no reason, because it's just like that creative energy. It's like if you're not putting it into what you're spending most of the time with, work or family, it has nowhere to go, and it's just like bubbling up inside you, right? And it's just like wants to get out, and there's nowhere for it to go. Sometimes people will turn to alcohol, mindless snacking, watching too much TV, doom scrolling, because we're trying to fill that void, but it doesn't work because it's just adding to, you know, piling on the layer, the compost heap. So how do we fix that, right? Like, we can't just be like, I'm going to take a week off and fly to Bali and not have my phone on me and all my problems will be solved when I get back. Wouldn't that be great?
Wonderful.
But it's something I struggle with, and I'm still learning how to manage that. And I have I moved here. I don't have a lot of community here that I had back home, but I still talk to a lot of my people back home. And thinking about conversations that I've had with people in the past about subjects that relate to this. I had a tattoo artist actually once tell me this story, and it really resonated with me, and I think it's very fitting for this class today. He had been doing tattooing for over 20 years, and all of a sudden he got a kid. His wife got pregnant. He has a kid, and he was like, when I was younger, working, making as much money as I could, so important. Because I'm young, I gotta make the money, you know, I gotta work as much as I can. He's like, now I have a kid. Money's important because I got bills to pay, but time is the important thing. Like, he's only gonna be this age for this long. I'm not gonna get that time back. He's not gonna care about the cool Christmas gift I got him because I worked extra hours and I wasn't around to make that money. He's going to remember that I blew off a day of work to go fishing with him, you know? And I loved that he was just like, time and connection and relationships to people, that's what people remember. They don't remember all the cool, fancy stuff. It's just stuff. It's nice. It's nice if you can do it. But having time, and I'm guilty of that too. Like there's times where I work way more than I know I should. And because I'm like, well, I know I'm going to take some time off, so I gotta prep, or I'm saving up for this thing. I gotta work a little extra, and then I pay the price because then my body feels broken afterwards, and then I have to take that time off, and then I end up losing money in the long run. And then you feel like, you know, you can never make enough money. You're never going to have enough, right? And that's, I think, like the capitalist society that we're living in is like, it's that greed that Michael was talking about. It's like, more. How do I get more? You'll never have enough because as soon as you make more money, you'll have more expenses, you know, and then you need to make more money. And then you'll have a medical emergency or your car will break down and you're going to need to work more. So trying to figure out where can we slip in time in our daily lives, you know, getting up an hour early to have like an hour of peace and quiet before your kids get up so that you're mentally prepared for the day, you know, and you just have that moment of peace. That's your time. That's so valuable versus paying to go grab breakfast on the way to school because you didn't have time to make them breakfast or something, you know, and just shifting our thinking in that way. Like, how can we do that? Like, everyone has different lives. So like what works for me may not work for somebody else who has a totally different lifestyle. But take a couple minutes, write down in your journal, maybe just like a little brief summary of like what your day-to-day routines look like, where like little pockets that you could fit in. Just little things. Like I do stretching when I'm brushing my teeth. I get up an hour earlier than I would like to because my cat is a jerk and wakes me up really early. And instead of being angry at him, it's like, okay, well, I'm just getting up at this time now. And me and him meditate every morning with coffee. And that's just our kitty meditation time. And I would much rather lay in bed or do yoga or something else. But that's not how my life is working right now, so I'm going with it. And we're just gonna make it into something that's positive for me while he still gets his way. So take a couple minutes and just think about things. Where can you incorporate it? It could be meditation. It could be stretching. It could be taking a little 5-minute walk out into nature. Reading a book, doing a hobby, anything. Taking 10 extra minutes in the shower. If anybody wants to share, just, you don't have to, but feel free to. If you feel like something that might help somebody else out, feel free to share. If not, welcome to keep it to yourself.
When are we going to get up like 15 minutes, 30 minutes early in the morning, every morning, which can be rough, but that's the goal.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of meditation and sitting in silence and, just being present in the time instead of running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah. Blah, blah. Sometimes when we take little breaks or, plan ahead a little bit, it actually saves us time, and then you're not running around later. Which it feels counterproductive. You're like, that doesn't make sense. But somehow it works out that way where you're like, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to actually get more work done somehow in less time because you're focused. I think about like when you're running late to something, right? And it's like, well, by speed, I'll get there sooner. And and if you look at GPS, like I caught myself doing this a few months ago. I looked at GPS. By speeding, I was only going to get there like 3 minutes earlier. And I was like, but if I get pulled over, I'm going to be really late. So, and I'm going to have to pay for a ticket. And I'm probably going to have to go to court or something like that. So it's fine. I'll be 3 minutes late. It's no big deal. Or today, I was rushing to get here and I was like, I'm going to be there a half hour later than I thought I was going to be. And then we were sitting around waiting for people to show up. So it's like, it's not the emergency that we think it is sometimes. And just this little 15 minutes. You can do a lot in 15 minutes. You can get a full meditation in and be maybe a little more awake when your kids wake up, right? A little more coherent.
But you also got to remember when you're doing that it's your time.
Yes.
Don't
do anything else.
To do somebody else's something, do it for you, your time.
Yeah. My cat wakes me up and I make coffee and feed him, and then I don't look at my phone. That's my rule. I don't look at my phone until I'm done with my cup of coffee, because otherwise I'll just, and then next thing I know, oh crap, I'm late to work. I haven't even gotten dressed yet. So, yeah, start small. You can get bigger if you want, or you can stay small. It still counts. Anybody else want to share?
I just chose a handful of moments I know are moments I do choose to just sit and scroll on my phone. Just sit quietly and close my eyes in those moments. At least one or two of the free moments I have, maybe the 5 or 6 I know I can do that in, and see if that helps just decompress in a moment. Yeah, cure that chicken with the head cut off feeling.
We've all been there.
It's real.
Yeah. I think Facebook, I don't know if Facebook does it, but I know on Instagram you can change in your settings. It'll tell you you can put a timer basically, like I only want to be on social media for an hour a day. And it'll pop up and be like, hey, you're at your time limit. Do you want to continue? And not ignoring it. Because I'll be like, screw you, past self. Don't tell me what to do. But I mean, I don't know if Facebook has that too, but that is helpful for sometimes to be like, hey, because sometimes if you're on there, you're like, I'm just gonna look at this thing for 5 minutes. Next thing you know, 2 hours has passed. That's what it's designed to do, is to keep you glued. And that's time we could be doing something else that's good for us.
They didn't tell us that in the 80s, did they?
No. We were raised by TV. That was our babysitter. It was like, just put you in front of the TV. Absolutely. Anybody else?
I could probably go to bed a little earlier to have a few minutes to meditate.
Yeah.
You can go to bed earlier than me usually anyway, instead of scrolling.
Instead of playing games on my phone.
Although she got this cool app called Luminate where have you heard of it? It basically you turn your flash side of your phone toward your face and you close your eyes, and it shoots off patterns, and it's got audio, and sometimes it's just sounds, and sometimes you can do it to music. And,
that's cool.
And it basically gives you that third eye optic visuals through your eyelids based on light
Illuminate.
flashing and syncopated patterns and stuff. And I found it was nice sometimes, but other times it felt like it was too much and it was waking me back up. But
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep with my phone in my hand.
Yeah.
using that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, you've already kind of been trying to incorporate something like that.
Yeah, I just need to be more consistent.
I mean, let's use technology for us instead of against us, right?
Right.
Like, there's so many apps out there that are good,
Right.
meditation apps, and actually I have a couple written down. Like Insight Meditation is one I use. It has like the bells, and it has sometimes talks and like guided meditations and different teachers, and you can follow people, so you have like a community online. There's Headspace and Calm. I believe you have to pay a subscription for those. I have a friend who uses a Finch app, which is like a
Yeah, we
self-care.
both use Finch.
Yeah,
We live
I
on
haven't
that.
tried it personally, but I've heard really good things. Some people that like that need that, like, little reward dopamine hit when they do something good for themselves. Like, hey, use it. Like,
You can create your own goals on that too.
yeah.
You don't
I mean, just because we're adults, we still want a gold star and a
Yeah.
sticker and told that we did a good job. Yes, I want a cookie and said like you did a good job. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever works. And then, that's how we get those routines and those, it becomes something that we're trying to do, a goal, to a routine, to a habit, to just who we are. It's not like this thing we're trying anymore after a couple of months. It's just like, yeah, that's just what I do. Like, you don't even think about it. You're not setting an alarm. You're not using an app. You're just like, your body's just like, this is what we do. It's that autopilot thing, right? And it's like your body starts to crave it. It's like, hey, we haven't moved today. I really want to do some stretching because we've been doing that for the last 3 months, like unwanting to do it. Now I want it. Now I'm craving it. So it's just like training a dog, We're just little puppies inside that are like, can't communicate. So those are all great. I love that. I think something like spending today, this is why this is important, right? Because I normally would be at work right now.
I'd be at home, but I'd be planning for work and other things.
Yeah, I'd be at work. So it's important to take days off once in a while when we can, and commit to adding presence to our lives so that we have the capacity, which is something at the last retreat we talked about and I loved. That sometimes I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was about just because we can, sometimes we don't have the capacity to do something.
Just because we have the energy
Yes.
to do something doesn't mean we have the capacity to do something. It's probably something along
Yeah.
that lines what I
So-
said.
Yeah.
So just because you have the energy to do it doesn't mean that your body needs to do it.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that because it's like, yeah, sometimes your body's just like, we don't have space for that. Like, we got enough stuff going on today. I'm
Or
one
you
of
just
those.
need a day to veg out.
Yeah.
Just to completely blank from everything, and that can be very nurturing to the body too.
My best friend calls it a potato day. Once a week, you should have a potato day.
For sure.
And it's like,
Potato.
yeah, you eat something made of potatoes, mashed potatoes, you order some french fries, whatever it is. The potato product is important. And then you yourself are a potato. And you sit on the couch and you veg out. And you just, it could be watching TV or whatever, but you can just stare at the wall. I mean, like, meditate, whatever, It's like a day of, I don't want to have any responsibilities. And, if you have kids or a demanding job, that's not always possible. So sometimes you need potato moments, little tater tot moments instead of a full potato day.
For sure.
You're just like, where can I, I just need a little two-piece moment. Yeah, so I think, yes, trying to figure that out, and it's different for everyone. It looks different for everyone because everyone has different lives and different relationships. But if we can figure out a way to make commitment to that presence, then we can have more capacity and more energy to do the things that we actually want to do. Like, we don't want to just pay bills and go to work and doom scroll, right? We want to spend time with our families and have good friendships and, do things that are good for our body and cook and clean our house properly and, do art or whatever it is, It's one of the things I miss about records, people that are older. It's like when you listen to records and you'd sit and listen to the whole album, and you just that was you weren't doing anything else. You just sit there and listen to a record, and it's and you'd listen to it over and over, but you were present. You were I know all the lyrics, you're enjoying the moment. And so rarely do we do that because everything's so fast paced. It's oh, I don't like that song, skip, or music's playing in the background and you're not even paying attention to it, And so if you can, figure out a way to be I'm listening to a vinyl record right now. This has got my attention for the hour. How do I bring that into my life in other ways? I think it's a dying art. My sister likes to write letters. She's a letter writer, which I'm very envious of because I'm not a letter writer. But no one writes letters. And she'll send me a letter once in a while, out of the blue moon for no reason. Just hey, thinking of you. Here's a nice card, nice little short letter. She'll put some stickers on it or something cute, and it's just lovely. I feel so loved and thought of. And, and I'm I'm too busy. I'm going to send you a text. Thanks. Heart emoji. Sorry, I'm at work right now, But so it's not just for us, it's for other people, My sister takes time to sit and write a letter and be thoughtful, which is probably a great, time alone for her, but it's also affecting me. I get that in the mail and I'm oh my God, why are you sending me a letter? It's not my birthday. How thoughtful.
It's somebody cooking for you.
Yeah.
And loving it and putting that love into the food they're making.
Food always tastes better when someone else cooks it. But because it's just, you're appreciating the effort they put into it, right? It's I could make the exact same thing. It's not going to taste as good because I know how much effort went into it because I did it. And if I know how much effort goes into it and someone else does it, I'm oh my gosh, you spent an hour making this. I appreciate that. Oh my, it tastes way better than anything I could make. It's that intention. It's what I was reading earlier. It's really embodying that, and it's not just going through the motions. It's you're feeling it. You're I feel the love, and that makes it so much better and special. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's a stupid $3 card my sister sent me in the mail, and I'm oh my gosh, you're the best sister ever. Took time. Didn't take any money, really. Took time. And time is more valuable than money, and I'm learning that as I get older. You can always make more money. You can never get back more time. Yep. And, we get busy and that time is gone and we can't get it back. So, not to say you all need to quit your jobs because I can't do that either. But, when things get overwhelming, it's okay, hey, I'm going to take a half day, or I'm going to go to a retreat on this weekend, or I'm going to go get a massage on my lunch break or whatever, or I'm going to go sit in my car and listen to some music and close my eyes because y'all are too much and I just need a moment before I punch somebody. I've definitely done that. I've definitely locked myself into the bathroom and been I'm just going to take some moments to breathe, and then I can go back and do what I got to do. John Lennon said, time is never wasted if you enjoy it. So it doesn't have to cost you anything, but it will cost time to make changes in your life. So finding where we can find that time is great. I've written down a couple of things. Some of them I probably am repeating myself because I was not following my notes. But some of the things that I just top of my head that come to mind to incorporate this into your life is you can light a candle while you're doing the dishes. or while you're getting ready for work. Sometimes I'll put on music when I'm getting ready for work. My latest thing I've been loving is I have a big bathroom, so I have a little stool that I sit down and do my makeup on, and I bought a foot massager. And so I get my feet massaged while I'm getting ready for work. And that's just been a really lovely way to start my day. It's like, oh, I got a little foot massage.
You get to think about it before you get out of bed.
Yes. And then you start looking forward to it. You're like, yes, I'm gonna get. I have to get ready for work. I don't want to. Oh, but I could go get my foot massage while and listening to some nice music and maybe like have some incense burning. And okay, yeah, I gotta go to work. I don't really want to, but we're gonna do it. It's okay. It changes your attitude. Like, I go into work and I'm like much less of an asshole. Yeah, and sometimes just little, like those little, like visual, I'm a very visual person, so like having those visual reminders of things that like I get to look forward to. Putting fresh flowers on your table or at your desk, just something that's like, it's not just a computer, it's something pretty to look at. Or picture of your family, like, okay, I hate my job, but I'm doing this for them, and I love them, so I can get through these next 6 hours because it's for them, Whatever you gotta do. Post-it note on the bath. I have friends that do this where they take a personal affirmations and post-it note on their bathroom mirror so that when they wake up, it's like they have something positive to see first thing in the morning. So whatever that is for you guys, whatever you can do. Simple intentions that keep us present. Sometimes people have like little fidget toys, mala ring, piece of jewelry, something that's like, I wear this because I can't wear it at work, but when I'm not working, it reminds me if someone's cuts me off in traffic or something, it's like, it's okay. They got somewhere more important to be than I do. I got all the time in the world. You get that speeding ticket. I will not. You can have it. Something that just, is either a tactile or visual reminder of like, slow down. It's all good. Like, I got all the time in the world. I ain't in a hurry. And then, that person that cuts you off, you see them later down the road, and you're like, you didn't get any farther ahead of me. You see them at the stoplight, and you're like, hi, remember me? I'm now going to pass you. You were in such a hurry. Bye. So one of the things I do that I have found is really helpful is, in order to make time for things like this, is I'm very much of a routine person. I have a system where I make time every day, every week, every month, and every year. And those are different things. So every day I do something. It could be meditation, stretching while I'm brushing my teeth, getting up a little bit early, whatever. Once a week I do something that's a little bit bigger. So in my house we have what we call Face Mask Friday. And we do face masks. Sometimes it's foot baths and face masks. Sometimes it's ordering pizza and watching bad TV with a face mask. It's whatever that week needed, Face Mask Friday. And when we skip Face Mask Friday, people are a little more cranky in my house. Like I notice like the attitudes are a little bit different. So something like that is simple. Doesn't cost a lot. I do a lot of things while watching TV because we're sitting there watching TV. Like I'll stretch while I'm watching TV. I'll do a foot bath. I'll do a face mask. I'll take a ball and roll out my foot. Anything that you can do that's like, not to say like, I think multitasking is really bad, but I'm telling you guys to multitask in a self-care way, right? Because we don't have enough hours in the day. So we got to fit it in when we can. And I want to spend time with the people I live with, and they want to watch TV. And I just got off of work, and I'm like, sitting on the couch watching TV sounds pretty damn good right now. But I know if I just sit here, my body's going to hurt. And so I got to do something. Not necessarily that I can't sit still, but something that I know my body's going to be happy later about. So that's one of the things I do weekly. Monthly, I do something a little bit bigger, like go get a massage, go get a pedicure, go try out a new restaurant, you know, something like that. And it could be, it doesn't have to be something to spend money on. It could be like, I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go
To a new place to hike.
yeah, I'm gonna go walk to a new place, or I'm gonna go meet up with a friend, and you know, whatever it is that, you know, these are just ways to like slowly trickle it into your daily life. And then as you do that, you'll be like me and be like, well, an hour a day isn't enough. I need more. I need more. Maybe if I go to bed an hour early, I'll get up an hour earlier, and then I'll have more time for meditation and quiet, and you know, and then I could take a really long shower or a bath, or you know, you start wanting, your body starts craving it and wanting more and more and more. Bodies are greedy and want something that feels good, because if it's not feeling good all the time, it starts being like, oh, why are we doing this when we could be doing this? Why are we fighting with our kid when we could be over here taking a bath? You know, we want to be doing that instead. And then once a year, I try to do something, for me personally, that's a little bit bigger, which is like usually travel. Which is not always in the budget, but sometimes it's like traveling to a new city, like not necessarily leaving the state. It's like, I'm gonna go, like next month I'm going to Asheville. I've never been to Asheville. So that's my once a year thing I'm doing that's big, and it's gonna be expensive. I'm going there for a work training. So I couldn't afford to do it for fun. So I was like, how can I do this? I have to take this work continuing ed class. I'm going to purposely choose it in a place that I want to go. And I'm going to make a vacation out of it. I got to take time off of work to do it. I'm going to take 3 extra days off. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost me a little bit more in my RAP, and probably going out to eat. But I get a little vacation now. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, I need a vacation.
And the whole thing is a tax write-off.
And it's the whole thing's a tax write-off, exactly. If you can find those loopholes, let's do it, right? And I did that 2 years ago. I've never been to North Carolina. I wanted to take this training. I found one that was in North Carolina. I was like, hey, me and my friend were like, never been to North Carolina. I want to go to North Carolina. She works remotely. She was like, yeah, I'll hang out in the Airbnb while you do your training. And then we were hanging out, and we're like, this place is pretty nice. Do you want to move here? And, you know, 2 years later, here we are, you know. So you never know. Sometimes, like, taking that little, you know, self-care time, I mean, it's good for you, it's good for other people, but sometimes it opens a door. 5 years ago, if you told me I was living in a small town in the country in the South, I would have been like, you're insane. There's no way. I am a city girl. No way am I moving to the South. Absolutely not. And here I am, and I love it. And I would have never gone had I not said, well, that's my once a year thing. I do something big, and I can't afford to do international travel, so we're going to go to a state I've never been. And I'm going to write it off of my taxes. So take a moment, journal. What is that for you in your life? What's one thing a day you can do? One thing a week you could do? One thing a month you could do? And then one big thing once a year that you would like to do, that's, you know, within your budget and schedule and lifestyle. I found that's made a huge difference. I'm a much happier person. And I try new things that are a little out of my comfort zone because of it. there's no wrong answers because everyone's life's different. So just something that's good for you, and feels good. And if anybody wants to share, feel free.
I put for daily exercise and meditate, weekly date night, either with this guy or a friend of mine or myself.
Love that.
Monthly, a day trip somewhere, and then yearly traveling somewhere.
Great. Yeah.
That's almost mine in a nutshell.
Perfect.
Very
Hey,
good.
it's that's great. That works out really well for you then.
Hey, we're on the right track. Woo!
I love the date night for yourself though too.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's like people don't do that. Like going out, take yourself out, and on a date, go get a meal or whatever. Because
100%.
sometimes things you're into, he's not into, and vice versa. It's like go do the things you want to do. Like I see that with couples where it's like they don't do the things that they personally want to do because they're my husband's not into that. It's like so go do it yourself. Go be your own person. And then your cup's full and you can come back and do the things you guys enjoy together and not be like, I really wish we were doing this instead.
Plus,
You
having
know?
stories from separate experiences is always nice. This is what
Yeah.
I did. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Just nutshell it so you don't bore the shit out of them, right?
Yeah, it's like, this isn't your jam, I get it, but this is mine, and I had a great time without you, and now I'm having a great time with you. Yeah,
It's also super attractive when you
It
have your own
is.
life and you do your own stuff.
yeah, and you're not codependent on each other, and you have stuff to talk about, because if you're doing stuff together all the time, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I was there, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I realized I was doing most of it already.
Good for you.
Except for the daily. Daily, I really need to get better about exercising daily because it makes me feel so much better, and it corrects my posture from working.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to be better about at least just doing a little bit of strength training to help my pain.
yeah,
And but weekly is hiking. My goal this year is to go hiking. We already go hiking a lot, but I want to go new places and work up to more miles. Usually it's just time that restricts us from going further. And then monthly, which I already do, body care, getting massage, chiropractic, and physical therapy. It's been helping a lot. And that's, I say I have already done it. I've been doing massage forever, but I've just, in the past couple of years, worked in more chiropractic, and that's helped my overall pain and everything. And then this year I started physical therapy with a wonderful physical therapist who used to be a massage therapist. So
oh, awesome.
it's the best of both worlds, and has been, her tips are just helping me become a better therapist as well, because I'm like, oh, now I understand why your hip is doing this, because my hip does the same thing, and so let me share with you what I've learned.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time with clients. I'm like,
Yes.
I have been here.
Yeah.
I know exactly what that feels like.
That's what I tell my clients. Like, I actually learn the most when I'm getting massage and getting physical therapist help. So let me show you what I've learned. And then annually, which we already do, more camping trips though. Adding a few
love
more
that.
camping trips, which
Nice.
I'm already starting to plan a little bit more often and earlier in the year. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get braver about camping in the cold and stuff like that.
Awesome. I love that. That's a great list. And like, working out, you had exercise on your daily one too. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go to the gym every day.
Right.
Like it could be like, I'm going to use resistant bands for 15 minutes every day, or I'm going to lift some weights, or I'm going to walk my dog. Yeah, whatever. Like start small. Like I think a lot of times people like they go super big and then it's not sustainable, right? And then they're like, oh, well, I suck and screw it. We're not doing this at all now. If I can't do it perfect, then I'm not doing it at all. It's like,
Well, I know for me it has to be something that I enjoy. It has
Yeah.
to be something where I'm not looking at the clock waiting for it to be over. Otherwise, I'm just not going to stick with it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to go to the gym and work out just walking before work, and it was not sustainable because I was looking at the clock and I'm not enjoying it. And I was like, you know what, why am I doing this? I could be doing something I do enjoy on my day off with no time limit. And I'm probably going to get more benefit out of that than being like, I hate this. But it's good for my mental health, my stupid mental health. Which sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes I do have like, I'm going to go walk in the neighborhood for my stupid mental health. And then I'm like, okay, I do feel better. That did work. I hate that it worked, but it worked. Awesome. Those are all good lists. You guys said a lot of good things that were kind of already on my list, so I love that. Hobbies, making time for gaming, video games, cooking, gardening, reading, crafts. Things that encourage skill and relaxation, I think is important. So make sure it's something that's, you're learning, you're improving something, but it's also enjoyable.
Cognitively or physically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's good for when we get older, right? We talked about this a little bit, having routines like a bedtime and morning routine. So waking up an hour early, no phones, electronics, something that calms your mind. It could be prayer and meditation. It could be drinking tea or coffee, reading, stretching, sketching, standing outside in your backyard and just being like, oh, the sun feels nice. You know, it doesn't have to be big, you know. Reading to your children before bed, it's for you too, right? You know, phone's off, it's not going back on. Gonna go read my kid a story. Read something that you want to read too, you know, that's for you too, you know, and have that moment and be present and enjoy the time you have with them because they're only going to be that age in that moment. It's for you too, you know, and then they go to bed and you're like, okay, now I have 10 minutes of complete silence before they're asking me for a glass of water, you know, like, you know, you got to really revel in it while you have it. Taking a moment before eating, we talked about this a little earlier, just taking a deep breath, being grateful to have food to eat and the work that it took to make it. Think, you know, to yourself or to the person if they're present, whoever cooked it, even if you're the cook, thank yourself. Like, hey, I'm a pretty damn good cook. This looks good. I can't wait to eat this. This looks delicious. I do know some stuff, you know? Give yourself that thanks too. The farmers who grew it, you can even add a small prayer if that's of interest to you. After you're done eating, noticing how you feel, taking a moment of appreciation, reflect maybe like, what did I like the best? Oh, that was good. Maybe next time I'll add a little more garlic to that or something, you know? It's not a critique. It's just oh, I'm really noticing that. Like, oh, next time that'd be really good with some chicken, you know, or whatever. And it's a form of appreciation. So we talked a lot about multitasking in a self-care kind of way. And Mary, you mentioned that you have been following the monks. Did anyone else see them while they were in town?
We tried, got stuck in traffic.
Oh no. Oh no.
I think they're over there.
Yeah.
There is an app.
Yes, that you could follow them.
Satura app that has like Buddhist stories on there.
Nice.
And so I've been listening to those, and then I also do like, it's called Slow Dive. It's there's a variety of things you can do on there. There's chants, there's
Slow dive.
guided meditations.
I don't know that one. That's great. I'm gonna write that down.
But I try to do both of those each day, and I've been trying to not look at my phone, like, and it was hard at first,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm okay with
Not missing it.
I'll look at it maybe twice a day.
That's great. I love
And
that.
it has, my anxiety has gone way down.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the monks while they were in town. I think, did you get to work with them?
I did.
That is like so special. So
I
amazing.
got a chance to offer massage to them while they were in Greensboro, and then when they went a little further south as well, I was able to work with them the second night because they were close enough. They were about a 30-minute drive from us. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
One of the things I noticed that they talked about during their talk, which was similar, I realized from a lot of the different talks that they did, but the main things I noticed that they talked about was to do away with multitasking, which we just talked about multitasking, in a mindful way, right? But to do one thing at a time and be present as far as multitasking. And that's great if you're a monk, right? But sometimes you got kids, you got a stressful job, whatever, you don't have time. So I think taking that sentiment and being like, how does that work with my life? Like, if you can, great. If you can't, how do I do that in a mindful way? How do I, if I have to multitask, how can I do that? How can I do two things at the same time, but be mindful, the two things at the same time, you know? So no, this is one of the things that was part of the talk, was no phone while eating or using the toilet. That was a big thing that they stressed.
They call
Like,
the phone your
your lover. Stop taking your lover into the bathroom with you. It's gross.
Yeah, when I first heard
I loved that.
I was like, what are they talking about?
I thought that was so funny. It's like, yeah, like, and you'll see it. You'll go to restaurants. I'll see this sometimes. I'll go to restaurants, especially in big cities. And you'll see a couple having a meal together, and they're both on their phone.
Stuck, yeah.
And they're like eating on their phones. And I'm like, why are you even here? Like, you have a person in front of you, like showing each other memes, or, you know, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, put it away for an hour so you can spend time with the person right in front of you. So I really loved that point. I thought that was a really good one. And just to not be in a rush and slow down. Catch ourselves, you know. I do this to myself all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I rushing? Like, I moved to the South to not rush anymore. I moved out of the city to slow down. And I use like mantras sometimes where it's like, I'll say this to myself, I didn't move to the South to be in a hurry. And I'll like catch myself running around at work. Wait a minute, what am I doing? I did not move here to be in a hurry. Like, you all can wait. Yeah, I did not move to like I'm gonna lean hard into the southern, you know, time. If you guys are a little more relaxed than where I'm from on the West Coast, I didn't move here to be in a hurry. So slow the heck down. Just think, you know, we have to call ourselves out on it, right? Sometimes. So we are the only thing, one of the things that was also at the monk's speech was, we are the only thing that we can change. We can't change this world as much as we would like to sometimes. But doing things like this changes our personal world. And if we can change our personal world, and everyone does that, then maybe we can change the world. I kind of joke with my clients, like, if we all just got massaged, like on a regular basis, we'd all be a little nicer to each other. We'd be too relaxed to argue about politics and things. Like, maybe we would just be nicer. But, you know, that's not a reality for a lot of people. So how can we do that on our own? How can we bring that into our lives to just be a nicer person, be a nicer human, so that we're nice to somebody, we're nice to ourselves, we're nice to somebody else, and then because we're nice to them, they're nice to somebody else, and so on. Domino effect, right? You know, if you're around somebody who's in a bad mood, you're in a great mood, and all of a sudden you're around somebody who's in a bad mood at the bank or post office or something, and all of a sudden now you're in a bad mood, you know? And then you take it out on somebody, you go home, and you're like, now you take it out on somebody else, and you ruin that person's day. You know? What if we did that, but in a positive way, you know? Like, I'm going to be in a good mood and make this person who's maybe having a rough day, make it a little easier. I'll hold the door open for them or whatever. You know, something little. You know, might not be anything to you, but it might be huge for them that you took the time.
Small act of kindness,
Yeah.
It's real.
I mean,
One compliment, one single compliment is enough. One single physical touch is enough. There was a study done with cashiers that if they brushed the hand of the person that they were handing the receipt to, then that person's day was actually better after that. They had more joy, they perceived more happiness in their day just by a single
Human touch.
brush of human touch.
and it was
That's
potentially
amazing.
accidental.
Mm-hmm.
The way
Yeah.
people are so
Yeah.
germaphobe nowadays, like,
yeah.
so you never know.
Or, I mean, this happened to me. This was probably a good 20 years ago. I was walking down the street, and I was having one of those days where I just wasn't feeling good about myself. I was having a very low self-esteem day and just felt ugly, fat, old, all the things that women feel every now and then. And, you know, I wasn't, because that was 20 years ago, and I was probably as cute as a button back then. And I was walking down the street, and this guy from across the street couldn't even see me because he was like way down the street. Just yells at me, "You're beautiful. I hope you have a great day." And it totally, like, I was like, me? And it really did make my day better. Like, I was like, that was really nice. Like, he doesn't know I'm beautiful. He can't even see me from over there. But, like, you know, something simple. Like, we don't even, you know.
It's a good practice of uncomfortability too, because it takes bravery to speak to strangers.
Totally.
So,
And I just thought that, I was like, I would never do that to somebody.
Yeah. To do that.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
And I was like, I was like, okay, crazy, you know. But then, like, later that day, I was like, well, that was really nice. What was I such a jerk about? You know, so those little things, like, they add up, right? Let's see. What else
Yeah, I
I
think
have?
that's what makes my maintenance job at this facility so fulfilling. It's not the maintenance job, it's the, you know, bringing joy just even microscopically to these residents' lives whose families neglect them constantly, and the only human interaction they have are with the staff, you know. So I
Oh,
try
yeah.
and be that family member that cares, and they notice that and they smile. Like, I got to play Santa Claus during the holiday season
Oh, fun.
and go around to everybody's room who couldn't get out to the courtyard. And it was just good, you know. It
Yeah.
makes me light up inside, and like, it's
Good for you,
it
good for them.
spreads, It's contagious. You know?
Yeah, totally.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's the key in changing the world. Not that we're going to change the world, but maybe slowly, maybe not in our lifetime, but hopefully for our children's lifetime.
6 or 8 people at a time.
Okay, but you know, you all know 6 or 8 people, and they all know 6 or 8 people, and you know, it works that way. Yeah. So a couple other things. Let's see. What did we talk about? This is something you might want to write down if you're a journaler and you want some ideas for journaling. A few years back, went through a very traumatic time in my life, and this was something that a therapist shared with me that was super helpful. Because she was like, just journal your feelings, and I'm like, I'm not a journaler. I'm not that person. Like, I wish I was. I'm just not. So this is called glad journaling, and this was actually the only kind of journaling that I really could get behind. And it was every day before you go to bed, you write down one thing you were grateful for that day, one thing that you've learned that day, one thing that you've accomplished, and one thing that brought you delight. And every day before bed, I didn't even have a journal. I think I used an old planner. and which was actually worked out really well because it had the dates. And just every day before bed took me like 10 seconds, and I slept really well. Like what did I do today? Oh, okay. Like I had a crap day, but okay, I did learn this one thing, or that one person was nice to me, or because sometimes we focus on the negative so much we totally bypass the little positive things get buried because we focus on the negative more. That's just what our brains like to do.
Can you
So-
repeat those 4 things, please?
Sure. So it's called GLAD. So one thing that you are grateful for, one thing that you have learned, one thing that you have accomplished, and one thing that brought you delight.
What do you mean by that?
Just something that brought you joy.
Oh, joy. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. Like it could be like, I'm grateful I woke up breathing today. The sun was out and it brought me delight. I got dressed and brushed my teeth. I accomplished that today. And, so it doesn't have to be a big thing. But it's cool to do it as a practice and then look back and be like, oh, that last month was a doozy. And then you're like, but here's all 4 positive things that happened every single day. It sucked. There was a lot of things that sucked, but there were these 4 things that helped it suck a little less. And then you're like, wow, okay, well, I can still find beauty in things, I can still find peace and stuff, even when you're in it and you're in the mud. You're like, oh, there's the lotus flower. Okay.
Right. Our perspective's everything.
Totally. It really helped me when I was in a not a good space. It helped me get out of that space. So as a massage therapist, and you probably relate to this, a lot of people don't know how to be quiet and still. That's like so hard. They're uncomfortable to be in their bodies without any distractions, which is why meditation, massage, Reiki, just being quiet, alone, having date night by yourself, it allows your mind to relax and be present. Because, and this is something that I've noticed with clients, it's that, especially parents, I notice this with parents, if you're used to doing everything all the time, doing nothing is terrifying. It's like they'll try to help you and you're like, I don't need your help. Let me move that leg for you. No, I don't need your help. Like I know you're taking care of your elderly parents and you got kids at home and your partner's useless and you have to do everything. But this is the one place you don't have to do anything. You just have to breathe. That's the only thing I can't do for you. It's like, I don't need you to do anything. And it's so hard because they're just like, what do you mean don't do anything? So doing something like meditation, massage, things like that, having that quiet time, I think of it like learning CPR. We want to be trained in how to do it, but in hopes that we'll never have to use it. But if you're ever in a situation that's difficult, boom, that skill kicks in, you save someone's life. So you do this self-care, you have these routines, you have your go-to thing that you can fall back on when shit hits the fan. And you're like, oh my God, everyone in my family just died. I'm sick, I'm injured, whatever, something horrible happens. And your whole body is like freaking out. Return to my breath. I got this. I can read my journal. These are things that I've in the past have been grateful for. You have that defense mechanism to rely on when you need it. And it saves your own life. Just like CPR. Give yourself some CPR. I know that personally has helped me. When you can't do anything at all and you're really sick or something like that, you can breathe. You can focus your breath. You can try to control your thoughts. You can do some positive thinking. and that gets you out of the mud a little bit, gives you rope at least. Yeah, I think we're running out of time, so I'm not even gonna hit all the things that I have written, but we got the gist of it, I think. Anybody want to share anything or questions? Didn't overload you with too much information.
It all resonated to me. I practice a lot of it daily
That's
in
excellent.
general, so
Hey.
it's like nice to hear it said differently.
And recognize what you're doing already, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes we're
exactly.
doing some of it already. And you're like, okay, I'm not a totally bad person. I'm trying. I'm doing some stuff.
Totally.
How can I amp it up a little bit, maybe?
Yeah,
You know?
that's the next step, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can do this all, like if you're already practicing a lot of it effortlessly,
Yeah.
why not increase it a little somehow?
Or how do you feel when you don't do it, you know? And you're like, oh my God,
Or
I haven't
relax.
exercised in a week. My body is dying. I need to do that. You know? Yeah, totally.